Oh my god!
Finland! What does that mean? Alcohol but still chill? Are you alcohol?
So I think this person that wrote this drink a lot of alcohol.
Hard to live in?
Not at all. Yeah, very safe.
Very privileged. Very privileged, I think.
I'm jealous. I'm gonna be really honest. In America, we are really not taught about the rest of the world. I actually didn't ever take a geography class.
Wow, ever.
So if that shows you about how much I already know, it's not that much, but I do know it sounds like all of your countries sound like a wonderful place to live. I really don't know specific details, but I'm really excited to learn about it today.
Okay, I'm scared.
Oh my god!
I'm so tired of this.
Yeah.
So the comment is, I have Swedish friends and they never serve food to guests. It happens, I will admit, it does happen, but I think the people who do that are bad people. And for example, my family doesn't do that. Most people I like, they don't do that. And so for me, I just think that the people who did that to me when I was a child as well, I also thought that was really rude. And usually it was the parents were a bit weird, I think.
I was gonna ask, is there do you know if there's any reason why you wouldn't serve food to a guest?
For me, when it happened, those times where I didn't think about it, was mainly because I would go home and eat with my family instead.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they're thinking, oh, you should eat with your family, because if you eat with another one, that I'm rude to my parents a little bit, maybe.
Okay, that makes sense.
But also Swedish people would give fika, which is another thing, which is not like dinner, but they would, if you come over around any time that's not dinner or lunch, they would give you pastry or coffee, and this is a huge culture that I think this is misinterpreting a lot.
Exactly,
that people are missing out.
Let's say not a dinner guest, not a lunch guest, some awkward time in between. They're at your house at 3-4 p.m. Just you, in general, would you give them a little snack or drink or something?
I feel 3-4 is not a random time, because that's kaffe time.
It's what?
Coffee time,
Oh,
kaffe time.
okay.
It's so that would be drinks and pastries, from the bakery, bring some pastries and cut them up and share. That would be
Same.
And I feel having that around 3-4 is very very normal.
If you eat or want to eat at somebody's house or want to have somebody over for food, you just say hey, let's have dinner or let's have lunch. I would say outside of a cup of coffee or some water, basic drink, cola or something like that. At least when I was growing up, we didn't really give food to guests. It wasn't a thing you would feel you had to do.
I feel we always offer coffee. If you come over to our house, we always, do you want a cup of coffee? And we would always, at least in our house, we would always have this, some pastry just for guests, just for uninvited, not planned guests. If I wanted to eat something from that, my mom would be absolutely not, that's for guests. What guest? If someone comes over.
Have you ever heard about this stereotype, I guess, before?
But it's kind of the same in Denmark, I think so. Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
I never heard about, not specifically about Sweden.
I think it has also to do with parents being very much aware about what the children eat. And some parents, especially in Scandinavia, they're really much aware of, do they just want to be vegetarians or do they want to I think it has to do with something like this also.
Was it portion sizes? Because I know some people with dinner, they'd be oh, we portionated it for 4 people, so we can't fit another. But then sometimes I'm thinking, well, if they're over, you can reportion it. It really depends on the person that is the answer. But most people do not do that. And if my grandma knew, she would get so mad.
I feel that whole comment about Swedish people not giving food to the guests was really blown out of proportions.
Definitely. Yeah.
And it was not just us, to be honest.
The comment says, there are only trees in Finland. Have you guys heard about this?
There's also lakes.
True.
I've never heard about the trees, I've heard about the lake.
I've heard about those. There's more saunas than cars.
Oh,
That's true. That one is popular.
I can see where this comment comes from, for sure. We have a lot of trees and a lot of lakes. Yeah, there's not much to do outside of those, the capital and those few big cities. I myself, I'm from a very countryside area. I don't know what to say about this other than it's pretty much true.
What are some popular hobbies for Finnish people?
Drink.
Okay, you know what? I can't argue with that.
Go to sauna, obviously just hang out with friends, and what teenagers usually do, because most of the people have cars when they turn 18, or they get a car or buy a car, because of that we don't have the same type of like public transportation like subways and stuff like that, because it's very long distances. I mean, we have buses, but for example, if I wanted to go to a school by a bus and I missed the bus, the next one came in like 40 minutes.
It's really similar to America.
Yeah. I feel like because of the weather and it's so dark and there's not that much to do, it is quite depressive. So that's why also we drink a lot of alcohol.
I literally feel like you could be talking about Iceland.
I feel like you could be talking about Sweden too.
Denmark.
What the difference is, except Iceland, is that we have also very little population. So we only have like 5.5 million people, and the country.
Sorry.
Hold on. But the country is big. Like compared to Iceland, our country is very big, and we only have 5.5 million people.
Like I said, I wasn't super versed in anybody's countries today, but yeah, I didn't know what would be famous in Finland, but the saunas does not surprise me at all. I've heard some crazy stories, like sauna stories, about going to Finland. But other than that, you know what? Who cares if there's only trees? You can climb a tree, you can chop it down, you can hug it.
We make a lot of money off our trees, so.
Yeah, there you go. What's wrong with trees?
And it's good for the air, the environment, you know.
Okay, so the next comment says, I'm Norwegian and I cannot trust the weather forecast. Have you heard this one before?
I heard this one.
In Iceland, we say the same.
Honestly, I think you can't trust weather forecast at all, anywhere. But I will not say true at all, because in Norway, usually the weather forecast is quite on point. But the only thing, maybe the only region this like applies to, maybe Bergen.
Oh, Bergen.
Because in Bergen, like it's between mountains and near the like ocean side. So I will say there are a lot of rain there. So it's kind of hard to predict, like, is it gonna be sunny, it's gonna be rain, and it can rain many times throughout the day and then suddenly be sunny. So our weather forecast is quite on point. Probably a person who lives like higher up north, where it rains a lot.
I feel like because like as you get higher up in Norway, you get like the same like degree as Iceland, and we literally like in like our tourist shops, there's like merch that has like just wait 5 minutes, you'll get the weather you want, like that kind of merch because it changes every 5 minutes. Like that's a joke we have.
This comment says, Danes love to complain about their own country's weather, which is usually grey, rainy and cold. Yeah, I think it's true in a way that Danish people love to talk about the weather together. Have you ever heard this comment?
I think this when I'm in Denmark.
I have not heard this.
I've heard the short version. Danes love to complain.
Yeah,
It's true.
Group complaining is very therapeutic.
It's a very cute way of complaining, I think. They like, if they don't know the person next to you and they wait for the train, which is always delayed, they will be like, the train is always delayed. Yes, it's because of the weather. Yes, it's so rainy and grey. And, yeah.
It's like a conversation starter. Yeah.
It's not really warm in the summer and it's not really cold in the winter. It's just rainy and grey.
Perpetual gray.
It can be nice in the summer, I think. Like it can be sunny, but I think most of the days are grey, rainy and cold. And windy is it's a very flat country.
Yeah, you have the wind power.
Yeah.
I think I've never been to Denmark when there was good weather.
No, I'm so sorry.
But you know, I love Denmark, but it was always so windy and kind of the tiny rain a little bit.
It's so annoying. Oh my god.
Sorry, give me a second. This comment says, everybody knows everyone in Iceland. It's kind of true. Like our population, as of right now, I think is 420,000. So we don't even reach like 500,000. And out of those 420,000, I think it's about between 10 and 15% that are immigrants. So like there's a very small population, so it's very easy for everybody to know everyone. And even like earlier, one of you, I don't remember which one of you asked me, but about the app. Yeah. And there's this like meme going around on like the internet that has been going on for years that everybody has to check before going on a date if they're related or not. But everybody in Iceland is related like in the seventh link usually, but we think like if it's the fourth or farther away, then it's okay, like that. But
If it makes you feel that any better, no, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure in America they say as long as you're more than second cousins.
yeah,
I think that's the rule, I think so.
So since I was born, I could be wrong, but it's like it was under 300,000. So since I was born, our population has basically doubled.
As Americans, we usually judge if you're from like a big town or a small town by how many people you had in like your graduating class. So like your last year of high school, how many people were in your class?
So in like, when I was like finishing elementary school when I was like 16, 23 kids in my class. And when I graduated like high school or what would be college for you, that was like one of the biggest schools in the capital. And I think we were maybe 40.
Wow. You don't mean for the whole country, do you?
No, in that school.
Yeah, exactly, because I was like, I thought that's what you meant.
No, but you gotta realize like we have, our capital doesn't even like make the requirements to be called a city.
Oh.
Because our capital only has like 120,000 people. So it's technically considered a town.
So you said like around 40, right?
Yeah.
I think I graduated with like, and I went to like a middle-sized amount of people's school. I would say I graduated with like at least 300 other kids. So that's like insane to me.
When I graduated from, went to university here, and like the amount of people graduating, like we had like, I think we were graduating like 3,000 together, and that was a shock to me.
This comment says, lack of sunlight in Nordic.
What's sunlight?
What is sunlight?
But I have to say that because we live north, it's very dark in the winter and very light in the summer.
You're the most southern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the most southern.
Yeah, but it's still like, it's still longer than here.
I feel like this comment is also like badly worded because like this, if this is from a person, they definitely went in the winter. There's 2 weeks in Iceland where the sun doesn't go down during the summer.
Yeah. Is there snow for all of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have, you know, the summer solstice is midsummer, and then you have Lucia, which is for the winter solstice.
Yeah, we have this.
So that would be like the darkest night where like there's basically no sun, or the lightest day where there is no night, basically.
Yeah, like in summer it doesn't get dark at all.
But there is the problems in such a long period of time during winter when there's basically no sunlight or very like lack of sunlight that you miss like you don't get enough vitamin D, and that like affects your mental
oil a
health.
lot in Iceland, like.
Oh yeah, we take lyse, which is like just like extracted from cod, which gives us the vitamins that we need. But also like seasonal depression is such a big problem.
It's same in Norway.
Same in Denmark.
Like I think like Iceland is considered like it's also really easy for us to get these kind of things because of our population is so low. But like we're considered like the most depressed country in the world. But usually that's because of seasonal depression.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I've heard that, at least for Finland, I don't know if it's, I would assume it's same for all of Nordic countries, is that our food has a lot of added D vitamin because of that.
Yeah, like added D vitamin milk.
Yeah.
That's like the most popular milk, plus D vitamins.
I never thought about it, but yeah.
So this comment says, Danish are always happy without alcohol. Norwegian are energetic with alcohol. And Finnish, alcohol, but still chill.
I think there's something wrong with the Danish.
Is that a spelling error?
I think the out should have been away from the sentence.
Aren't Danish people happy? I feel like I always think Danish people are happy.
We drink a lot in Denmark. Like,
Maybe you're always drunk.
like beer is cheaper than water. So I think this person that wrote this drink a lot of alcohol.
So let's start first with Denmark. I guess this means like you are the party with or without alcohol. Are you always down to not be a clown, but you know, like just be happy and like, are you fun with or without alcohol?
I think it depends on where you're from in Denmark, but Copenhagen people are called kind of the Americans in Scandinavia because I think we are more outgoing, but I would also say that we are still like kind of shy and alcohol helps a lot.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we talk much more when we drink.
How about for Norway? Are you like the energizer buddy?
Well, kind of. Like Norwegian people are like cold, and not that we're not shy. We just don't like to talk to people.
Oh, okay.
Like
That's fair.
we like our own space, so we always like we don't want to interact. But when we drink, we become really energetic and really friendly and crazy.
So if I want to make Norwegian friends, I should ask them for drinks. Finland! What does that mean? Alcohol but still chill? Are you alcohol? In Finland, if you drink alcohol, are you just like maintaining the same energy?
I would say mostly, yeah, you just drink alcohol, you chill, you go to sauna, you hang out with your friends, you just, yeah, I feel like chill is the right word for that.
So basically, alcohol is water. Then.
Well, it's a commonly drink. I would say more just, we're just kind of cold. But alcohol makes it a little warmer. If you want to get to know a Finnish person, get them drunk.
Okay, so if you take a second to think about it like right now, what is the #1 thing that you think is the worst thing about each of your countries?
Okay, I can tell about Norway. It's the lack of sunlight in winter because it gets really cold and really snowy. So you kind of get like all three of them at once.
A thing that is bothering me about Denmark is that it's really expensive. I think Nordic countries in general are really expensive countries.
For me, I think, yeah, like was mentioned about the pricing, like I just went back home and came back and it broke my wallet. Even though I was like living with my parents, but still like, but then as well, like, especially one of the reasons I left Iceland is because there's nothing to do. It's so, also Iceland is so isolated and far away. Like just going to Denmark and like England, which is the closest, is still a 4-hour flight. For me, like it's the isolation and the nothing to do really.
I would also say that there's nothing to do, but also like the kind of controlling environment in a way that like we have a lot of rules and a lot of laws, like for example when it comes to just drinking, like you can only buy alcohol until 9 p.m. And like, well, there's just so many rules that I mean it's a good thing too. There's a reason for it, but for me, in my 20s, I don't like it.
No, I understand.
I feel like everything everyone said is also correct for Sweden. But the first thing that I think of that I really hate is also the weather. But I'm thinking about that specific, I call it a season because it comes between winter and spring, and I call it slush season.
Same in Denmark.
It goes on for like at least 2-3 months or something, and it's just your shoes get wet and it's just, it looks so depressing, you can't do anything, and I just hate it so much. That is just what I think about when I want to like depressed in Sweden. Like.
Today we talked about the worst things in the Nordic countries.
If you like this video, please subscribe, like this video or comment down below.
We'll see you soon.
Bye!